Each spring semester, we recognize 3 individuals for their contributions and achievements outside of Purdue University. And I'd like to first of all recognize this year's recipient of the Alumni Achievement Award. The Alumni Achievement Award is presented in recognition of professional achievements, contributions to the arts, and support toward Purdue bands and orchestras. This year's Alumni Achievement Award recipient is a gentleman by the name of Joe Berger. You can read Joe's accomplishments in your program, but I'd like to just highlight a few. Joe writes, "Being in the Purdue band was a wonderful experience. I'm still playing at the age of 86. Joe received his Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering degree at Purdue University in 1953. You can read about his career under his photo on your program, but I would also just like to tell you about Joe Berger, the musician. When he talks about playing at age 86, you're not just kidding. Joe Berger spends a lot of time playing in groups in and around his home in Southwest Florida. He's a very committed saxophone player, not only a classical player, but he also considers himself a jazzer. And Joe Berger has been a tremendous friend to Purdue University Jazz and to our program in and of itself. And I'd like to ask Joe Berger to please come forward, please, as I just highlight a few things in his career. 1953 to 1957, worked for Lockheed in hydraulic research and design. 1957 to 60, Vickers in mobile hydraulic sales. 1960 to 1962, Chrysler Missile and Hydraulic Research. 1962 to 65, Scans Associate in Test Equipment Design. He's the holder of 6 US and British patents. From 1965 to 1970, he worked for Cox Instruments in filter sales, promoted to Instrument Department Sales Manager. 1970 to 86, started Finite Filter Company. In 1970 with one partner, employed over 100 people, attained over $10 million a year in sales by 1986 at 30% gross profit, received 12 US and British patents. And finally, from 86 to 1991, sales for Parker Hannafin, and he retired in 1991. Most importantly, I want you to see under his education that he also was a student teacher in engineering and drawing and descriptive geometry. Joe Berger has covered the gamut in his career, and we'd like to congratulate him on behalf of Purdue Bands and Orchestras for all the wonderful achievements he's had in his life, and to thank him for his contributions to Purdue Bands and Orchestras. Joe, come on up.
Thank you very much for awarding me this great honor. I don't really feel worthy, but I'll take it anyway. When I came to Purdue, things were not quite like, enjoyable and interesting in the music department as it is under Bo Trout and Jay. I came here when Spots Emmerich was the director. He hated saxophones. That's what I played. And he was the director of the Purdue band since he was a sophomore. And when I knew him, he was in his at least 80s, if not 90s. He retired the next year. So that means he was the head of the music department for close to 70 years. It's just unbelievable. He was the reason that I quit the band after about a year. You got to remember at that time there was about 12,000 students here. It was a little bit over a quarter the size that it is now. And I paid, I believe it was $650 a semester. And that was out of state. So when I quit the band, I joined the Hugh Kellogg band for a short time. And then Chet Bausch came back into Purdue. Chet's here tonight. Matter of fact, Jay said he was getting the honors. I think his father kind of kicked him in the rear end to tell him to get back into engineering from Ohio State teaching music. Anyway, the few years ago, when I stopped on the way home from Florida, I wanted to hear a jazz concert at Purdue, and I'm not sure what I expected to hear. But Purdue not having a music school, I thought, well, it'll be a high quality amateur performance. And I was absolutely astounded at what I heard. I couldn't believe the number of people in the activity and the quality of the music. The ensemble work was beautiful. The solos were almost professional level. And then Mo told me that he was directing 7 bands. I don't even know how you would do that. Plus, he's got hundreds of high school bands that come in for contests. Plus, he puts on professional concerts. I asked him what he does in his spare time. It was just astounding to me. I couldn't believe it. But the only message I have for you tonight is that music is the greatest hobby in the world, especially for someone in a challenging scientific field. You can go home at night, play in a band, forget your troubles, and just, it keeps you thinking, keeps you involved, and it's a positive experience, and just instead of just sitting back and watching TV and growing old, it keeps you young. So the message that I have for you is, don't ever quit playing your instrument. Don't ever quit. If you have a conflict with your business, put it off for a couple of years. That's fine, I did that myself. But don't ever quit. I don't know how many times I had people come up to me at jobs and at concerts, and they just almost crying, say, God, I wish I had never quit playing my instrument. It's a sad, sad thing to hear. So that's my message to you, is don't quit. My sister sent me this article from Rockford a few years ago. That's a 92-year-old man playing his saxophone. He's played for 70 years. That's almost as long as I have. He says he gets his greatest thrill out of seeing people in wheelchairs applauding and smiling. Now, isn't that a great way to go?
Yeah.
So that's my message. Don't quit. and hail Purdue.